What is going on, everyone? Jimmo back in the booth, and today we're going to be painting this Subaru. First, we're going to be laying some sealer over all of our repairs. So at the top there, we've got a few dent repairs we primed and blocked. They have a bit of body filler underneath them. So there's a bit of a bigger hit. You can see we've got two replacement doors on the front and back. So what happened up until this point, of course, is we had to remove the damaged panels. There's a bit of damage on the rocker on the inside, as well as near the top and on the post. So all of that was corrected and refinished. So we've painted the inside, and before we put those doors on, we also painted the inside of the door. So now what we're doing is applying our sealer. So over that E-coat, we need a sealer because that E-coat is very thin and it's not going to give us a very good foundation for the paint, which would leave it prone to chipping if we were just paint directly over top of it. So we're also going to apply some sealer over the primer areas. That's going to give us a little bit better holdout over those repairs, prevent any issues such as sinking and whatnot. So we're going to be actually using this same gun the entire job. Again, the Segola 4600 with the 3M PPS adapter. So what we're going to do after we lay this sealer down is we're going to grab our aerosol Clearcoat blender and we're going to fade out our blend. So that's just going to give us a smoother area to blend our paint across. We've done this quite a few times. You've probably seen it before, but here it is again. And it's just going to melt the overspray away where our gun was fading out and give us a nice smooth panel to work across. So the next thing we're going to do is just run a tack rag over top of everything. So what we've done here is allowed it about 15 minutes to dry, and so it's good and hard. If there's any dust nibs, you can actually go in and wet sand it at this point, and I recommend that if there are in your sealer, that you try and get it, especially when you're working with waterborne paint, because it doesn't tend to sand quite as well as the sealer is going to. So if you have any dirt at this point here, you should try and remove it before getting any paint down. It'll make your life quite a bit easier. So again, we just ran over the tack rag just to pick up any loose, maybe debris that may have fallen in between coats. Usually there's nothing, but sometimes the overspray as well will dry up and land on certain surfaces, and the tack rag will pick that up as well. So we're going to hit it with our base coat. We're going to cover all of our panels here. We're going to start with our offsets first, and then we're going to work our way across. So we're going to go one panel at a time rather than the whole length. And you can see we're angling our blend off there. I've talked about that before. That's how I like to do my blends. Instead of having a straight line, just try and angle it off. If there's any imperfections with your blend or the color isn't quite there, it makes it quite a bit trickier for anybody to pick or see where your blend may have been. So just a bit of added insurance on the blend. So when we were painting this vehicle, the humidity was off the chart, so that of course is going to slow down the drying time on our waterborne paint. So we're going to have to just take a little bit extra time and blow it off real well and make sure that paint is good and dry before the next step. So we're using the official Motivated Painters air blower here. So these little fork things, there's also the bigger Wacom version. They work quite well, I find, whenever I can use them. I think they're preferred to the blowers on the stand, mostly because they don't have a filter on the back that's sucking in existing air and potentially putting more dirt into your paint job. So we could use a solvent paint here to speed things up, but the solvents that are available in Canada don't quite provide the same amount of metallic control, and generally you just get a better look with the waterborne paints. I'd say it was not true back, I don't know, 10 years ago or so, when you could actually use the high VOC paint, solvent paints. So in high humidity conditions, the solvent paint's going to dry quite a bit faster if it's available. So now that we've got it dried off really well, we're going to go ahead and apply a second coat. You can see that it pretty well covered over the first one, but we're going to just step our blend out a little further, make sure we've got full coverage here, then let that flash off, and we'll hit it with a drop coat. So we're just going to drop our pressure a little bit here and just even out the metallics. Will increase our distance. You can actually see the appearance is quite good already. The metallic consistency looks really good. There's not like a patchy look, and you don't see any of the blends in the outline of where our blend faded out. So this will shift the color kind of into the intended position. But I guess technically you could clear it at this point if you really wanted to, since it's not really lining up to anything except for the bumper maybe at the back where that blend would have went a little further. This is more of a precautionary step too. Sometimes you get them outside and it looks, may look okay in the booth. You get it outside, maybe it looks a little patchy, but typically it's actually the other way around. If it looks good at this point, you can probably go ahead and clear it. But I think just for good practice and following procedure, I'll always hit it with the effect coat here and make sure we're doing everything by the book. Alright, so we're going to hit it with the Clearcoat now. So you can see we're using the same gun throughout this entire job. And we're going to go with a kind of a general purpose clear. So that refers to the drying speed on the clear. It's not a production clear that's going to dry extremely quick. It's going to give us enough time to lay everything down. And we can control the speed further with the hardener and the reducer. So typically on a job like this, especially in a warmer and humid climate, we're going to go with a normal hardener and a slower reducer. So that'll give us enough time to get everything to lay down nice, and it's not going to slow down the curing speed once we switch it to bake after we're all done here. So you can see we're going panel to panel rather than the front to back, which again you've seen in different videos. I think maybe I'm just getting older and I'm trying to take fewer steps these days, so we'll go with that theory. But either way, I mean, I've seen it done both ways and turn out some really nice jobs. So we're going to get this coat of clear on, let it flash for about 5 to 10 minutes in between, hit it with another, and that will be it. So that is going to be it, guys. Thanks as always for watching. See if you can spot out the run on this job here. I know I had to do a little bit of polishing. I got a bit heavy on a spot or two, which happens, but hey, what are you going to do? So keep your eyes peeled over the next month. It looks like we've got some big, exciting product launches coming up. Despite the fact that SEMA is canceled, we should still have something to look forward to, and hopefully we'll have some cool stuff to show you in the videos ahead. So make sure you are subscribed, and we will see you next time.